In the north of England they call it headlining. In Felixstowe they call it bow to bow, and it's often called centre lead forward. From the shore it certainly looks dramatic, and from aboard this tug, Svitzer Shotley, at the port of Felixstowe, the views are impressive, but the skippers and crews do it virtually every day. Today, on Wednesday 8th of April 2015, tug skipper Graham Smith and his crew aboard the 243 gross tonne Shotley are going to be bow to bow with Maersk-Edinburgh, a 367 metre long, 141,716 gross tonne container ship, freshly arrived from the Far East. In this first part of our film, the tug will be within just 5 metres of Edinburgh as she enters the harbour to pass up the bow tow rope, and then she'll be using most of her 4,200 kilowatts of engine power, that's around 5,600 horsepower, to help swing the ship through 180 degrees, ready to come alongside Portside 2 at Felixstowe's Trinity Terminal. In part 2 we'll see Svitzer Shotley as she exercises maximum grunt to move Edinburgh towards the berth, and then we'll take a look below at the engine room while the tug is alongside before moving on to lift the 95,000 tonne MSC Athos off the quay to start her voyage towards Suez. But now, as Maersk-Edinburgh is slowing to between 5 and 6 knots after rounding beach end turn, Graham is moving Shotley astern to match speeds and to be ready for the heaving line.
Down to about 5 now, because I'm slowing down all the time. And he's got the stern to
When the ship has slowed sufficiently, the pilot initiates a swing, sending Shotley out to Maersk-Edinburgh's port side and the stern tug Svitzer Stanford out to starboard. He uses a constant application of power from the tugs, combined with the effects of the ship's main engine and the bow thrusters, to turn the ship. At times during the process you can hear the rattle produced as the bow thruster propellers cavitate in their tunnels through the bow.
By now to be coming to start the engine. I would expect the tide to be lifting us up to a Shotley. That's a constant thing, but that hasn't happened yet. I'm just waiting, watching.
Maersk-Edinburgh has swung in the widest dredged area at Felixstowe, so she now has to go astern to reach the berth, where the River Orwell enters Harwich Harbour. Svitzer Stanford, with skipper Doug Good, will tow her with help from the ship's main engine and using the bow thrusters for steering, while Shotley stays on her tow rope, also able to exercise power to keep the big ship straight. As the berth gets closer, Shotley closes in to Maersk-Edinburgh, retrieving the tow rope, but this time the ship is moving away from her. As mate Paul Ironson goes to clear up the tow rope, Shotley forges ahead for the next part of the job. In part 2 we'll see her exercise power as she moves Edinburgh up to the quay, and we'll have a look below at the engine room, the heart of the tug, with engineer Paul Edson, before assisting MSC Athos to leave her berth on her way to Suez.